What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron. I know it's been a little bit of a minute. I don't think we posted a video in like maybe a week. We've been sort of, taking it easy on live streams, and that's because I have dedicated probably the last 3 days to absolutely just putting my nose to the grindstone and pumping out a Dynasty rankings update. I sort of viewed this as me turning in the test with the draft at the end of the month. These are my official pre-draft Dynasty rankings, top 300 players in Superflex, tight end premium. I have every single player listed as a buy, sell, hard sell, soft sell. I have all of the rookies integrated now, so you can see, how does JSN stack up against all these wide receivers? How does Quentin Johnston, where does he come in? Literally everything. My top 48 rookies are all in there. That's on patreon.com/Ron Stewart. The link will be in the live chat. I believe it's pinned in the live chat. I believe it's down below in the description, in the comments, all of that good stuff. So what that means is that is finally done. I can finally speak to you people, get my head out of the spreadsheets, out of the Fantasy Pros expert ranker app or whatever that I've been living in for the last 3-4 days, and bring you people some content. So I have my rankings pulled up on the side. Again, if you want to check those out, patreon.com/Ron Stewart. If not, all good. We're going to do a sleeper mock draft here, Dynasty startup. And I kind of just want to look over and sort of just see how the rankings hold up. Or not even hold up. I'm not going to draft directly off of them, but I'm just curious to see how they look. Because sometimes it's hard ranking 300 players and having it look right. So this is kind of the sniff test for me, just to kind of see what's going on. How are we, though? If you're in here, let me know. Say what's up. I know you guys got into... Seems like you guys had a little bit of a nice conversation before I hopped in here. How are we? We got Pete in here. We got Chris in here. We're talking about the Lanzierline mock. The Lanzierline mock is pretty wild. I will say a little bit too many trades for my liking. What's going on, Toronto? Dave, how are we? We got Peanut Butter and Waivers in here. How are we? We got Gabriel in here. What do we got? All right, so I'm going to send you guys an invite. I actually am kind of up against it right now. I'm going to... a buddy of mine literally just hit me up a few hours ago, and he's like, hey, man, I have tickets to the Devils game tonight. You want to come? And I'm like, I can't turn down free tickets. I'm not in the spot in my life as a 21-year-old man where I can turn down free tickets to watch the Devils play. So we're going. I think we're leaving at 5:45 Eastern, so... We'll see. I think we can squeeze in a Dynasty mock draft. I put the link in the live chat. It's literally just like that hyperlink I put in. How are we? You said, glad to catch you live. I always love when I have people, they see me live for the first time. I feel like live... Actually, no. Now that I don't really edit videos anymore and I just kind of ramble, you guys definitely see, the real side of me, I guess is what I would say. I try not to sound too scripted in those videos. I kind of want to... I don't know. I don't like being super buttoned up. I used to be very, I don't know. When you have somebody edit your stuff and you talk, it's just not, very natural, I guess, is what I would say. What else we got in here? You said, all right, so let me put this on the screen, actually, while we're waiting for people to come in, because I know this is not formatted correctly right now. All right. All right, I think this looks good. Boom. All right. Damn it, never mind. I got to get 12 in here somehow. Come on. So it's just going to be Dynasty Superflex tight end premium. Very simple. Like I said, wanted to sort of do a nice little test run on the new rankings. Also curious if any of you guys are on the Patreon. Let me know how you guys felt about them. I also, among the top 250 or top 300 that I have, I highlighted the rookies so you can kind of see how the rookie picks are. I'll say, fellas, a little bit of a sneak peek, dude. Twitter's going to tell you that, this is a bad class. I have the 101 as an early second startup value. I have the 102 through 104 as a late second startup value. 105 and 106 as a late third startup value. 107, 108 as a late fourth startup value. So I have the 101 through 108 in my top 48 rankings of Dynasty Superflex tight end premium. That's pretty crazy. 8 players in my top 50. With Bijan almost being a first-round pick. So what do we got? You said We need one more. We need one more. I put this link down here. Click it. You'll hop right in. Pick a team. We need one more team for the mock. It's going to be 30 seconds. Dynasty Superflex tight end premium, 12 rounds. 30 seconds per pick. It shouldn't take too long. All right, we're good to go. All right, so let's randomize the order and we'll start it up. Of course, okay. 9th overall, sweet. Just what I want. All right, so I wanted to see this question. You said, yo, Ron, kind of a weird question, but have you used ChatGPT at all to help you get freaky in the sheets? Helps a lot for coding, so I assume it would help there too. Huh. In what way, Chris? I'd be very curious, though. I haven't messed around with ChatGPT at all. I should. I know it's been kind of going viral and stuff, but I literally haven't touched it. But I'm curious, like, how does it help you code? I imagine you probably, like, ask it about, like, a script or something. All right, so we have a pretty chalky top 4 so far. Like, that is the consensus top 4, to be real with you guys. Herbert off the board. Trevor Lawrence. You need the Penguins to lose? Okay. Love to see it. Dude, I might have to put the house on Jesper Bratt to score tonight, dude. That's my dog, bro. So we're talking a lot. What the heck's going on here? What are you guys talking about? JSN won't go past 9. But you guys are talking about JSN, and I'm completely lost on the conversation right now. All right, so I'm actually on the clock here, staring down the conversation or the chat. Let's go Lamar before I get auto picked again. That happened last time. I was trying to read up on the chat, and got auto picked. But yeah, feel free to ask questions or whatever. We're just hanging around doing a mock draft. I'll speak on picks that are surprising. Like always, dude, Lamar Jackson is such a value. Lamar Jackson's such a value. I have him on my rankings. Now, I wouldn't take him here because the market's devaluing him, but like in a vacuum, if he was valued on the market, like in this range, I'd have no problem taking him there. He's young, he runs a ton. Literally nobody has scored more points per game through their first like 3 years than Lamar Jackson. Maybe Mahomes is the only one that can counteract that. And I get the concerns with the rushing, but I don't think it's just going to evaporate from thin air, I guess. 5 first-round picks in a Dynasty startup, I think that's probably fine. I think as a whole, Dynasty startup picks are probably undervalued, or Dynasty rookie picks are undervalued in startups. You got a lot of picks, huh? Yeah, that's sweet. I'm holding on to my picks where I have a lot of them, to be honest with you guys. I don't love it, but I guess give me Dak Prescott. That's not a super like fun or sexy start for me, but Lamar Dak is probably fine. I was debating AJ Brown there. I even was maybe looking at Kyle Pitts a little bit. Could have made the case for one of the rookie quarterbacks, but that's probably my biggest internal debate in terms of when I was that's probably my biggest internal debate when I was making the rankings this weekend. It's just like, how do we value Dak versus the big 3 quarterbacks? Because I could be talked into having Bryce Young, Richardson, and Stroud over Dak. But he also might score like just shy of 20 points per game. It's a pretty like known commodity at this point. But it seems like I think in these rooms or like sharp rooms with you guys and patrons and stuff, we value quarterbacks high enough to push Dak into 204 range. But I think if you look at like ADP, and I even want to say, I know Mason and Nick Colano did like a mock today. I don't think that Dak Prescott went in this area. Like it seems like in more, what do you want to call it? I wouldn't say casual leagues, but like more common leagues, where it's not a bunch of sickos like pushing up quarterbacks. It seems like Dak Prescott can fall to like the late 2nd, early 3rd-ish. I'm not sure. Let me know. Yeah, this is super flex. Are you asking me how do I feel about Treylon Burks if JSN goes to the Titans? I'd actually honestly love that move. You put JSN in the slot, and it's not like the best case scenario for Treylon Burks, but I think at this point, it's tough to project Treylon Burks as like a true number one in the NFL. Like, I'm kind of just coming around to the idea that, like, unless if you crush the way that like Garrett Wilson did as a rookie, you have the upside to become like a number one wide receiver, but you're probably more likely than not more, you know, I'm trying to think of guys who are like similar comps, but I guess like more like let me look through these wide receivers, but you're probably more among the lines of, you know, your, I guess like your Devonta Smiths, your like, you know, like I guess like Michael Pittman is in there, you know what I mean? Like I don't think that you have that same super high ceiling, but JSN coming in, I think the bigger picture is that probably like foreshadows sort of a scheme change, right? If they, like, when you look at that passing offense, it's Chigo Okonkwo, it's Treylon Burks. That's not enough to like support an NFL passing offense. But you add JSN there, and that's like a clear sort of you know, turn of the tides towards wanting to pass the ball more. So I think just sort of having that as like almost an identity change is sort of huge. Also, let me know if you can hear my dog crying in the background. Winnie. Win. What's the issue, dude? I just took you out, man. Man, third round Amon-Ra St. Brown feels crazy here. I'm going to take Amon-Ra. Why not? Amon-Ra St. Brown in the third has to be a steal. Winnie, win. Chill out, dude. Chill. Can you guys hear her? Yeah, I definitely got to check it. Hey, we got Brock in here. Yeah, I'm on here early. I was talking about it. I'm going to the Devils game. So I wanted to squeeze one of these in real quick beforehand. The 112 is super gross. The 112 is super gross, but I do think that he salvaged it a little bit with Kyle Pitts there on the reversal, I guess. Thoughts on Jordan Love? Could he be the new face in Green Bay? He definitely could be the new face in Green Bay. I don't know. Like, I'm open to the idea that, like, wouldn't it just be so crazy if the Packers hit 3 times in a row a really good quarterback that, like, wasn't, like, Favre was drafted by the Falcons and he wasn't that good. Rodgers was a late first. Like, none of these guys were even first overall picks or anything. Like, it's not like it was like Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck where that was pretty apparent that was going to work out. I just doubt they thread that needle, but Love is the kind of guy who's toolsy, big arm, mobile that I don't hate betting on, but I think his ADP is starting to get pretty egregious here. People are really pushing him up. I also wonder if he gets even more expensive when the Rodgers deal happens or if that's already baked in. You said you have Dak ahead of all of the rookie QBs. That's probably where I am too. It's just it's super tough. It's super tough with the lack of rushing. At what you know, like what age does Dak get to where he gets, you know, vaulted from this tier to like the Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins area? Because I don't think that's too far away. I agree. I prefer Kellen Moore too. Yeah, anywhere you have Dak, you probably just have to hold on to him. Dak at 311, honestly, not surprised at all. Burke should be like Pittman. Yeah, exactly. That's the difference where in the past, like I would really chase after Treylon Burks and these year 2 wide receivers, and I still think that it's probably worth chasing after them. But the ceiling's a little bit lower. You got Trevor Lawrence at the 210 earlier? Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Quarterback, it really depends on the league, but quarterback might be misvalued a lot of places. But like any analyst league or patron league with you guys, like you got to sell your soul to get into this area. You have to sell your soul to acquire one of these guys. But yeah, with the Treylon Burks thing, there's definitely like, as much as it's competition on a team like the Titans who run so much, and it's like, man, like it's Derrick Henry, but they could trade Derrick Henry. Like right now, the offense is a crapshoot. So like, I'm cool with them investing in another passing game option because that just, we want them to pass more if Treylon Burks is going to happen. Like if that's an offensive lineman, they probably just run more with Derrick Henry. I'm very curious to see if Derrick Henry gets moved because it seems like that's the buzz. Can't even hear Winnie. I mean, even if Love isn't Rodgers Favre level, yeah, I agree. I wasn't necessarily saying that, but it'd still be absolutely wild to just go 1, 2, 3 of just like, starting quarterbacks. Let me see as well. I gotta actually look at who's available now. Man, this feels like it's been a weird draft. Also, 401 feels very high for Pickett, man. I gotta be honest, I hate talking about players that are on the board, but like, give me Will Levis over Kenny Pickett straight up. Are you okay, bud? All right. So I don't need Levis. I already have a quarterback. Wow, guys, you can't let me get Mark Andrews at the 409 in a tight end premium draft. You can't let me do that. You cannot let me do that. That is foul. Fellas, I truly do think, man, I think Kyle Pitts, I would take him right around here. I would take Mark Andrews right around either like late second or early third-ish. Tight end, when they're hitting in season, in tight end premium, is such a massive, massive advantage. Like, before Mark Andrews fell off this year, right? So we're looking like through the bye week, he's putting up like 15. Oh, these are projections. But, like 10, 25, 28, 22, 23. Through 6 weeks, dude, it was like in tight end premium leagues, dude, it would be so difficult to acquire Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, like Kelsey, they were almost untouchable in tight end premium leagues, especially if they're on a contending roster. If they're on a contending roster, they're winning because their tight end is doing amazing things. They're not going to give up that asset. So I think it's a great move right now, especially while they're not scoring points or anything right now. So I think people are just like devaluing tight end across the board. I almost see it as quarterback, where we're trying to get 2 stud quarterbacks and a stud tight end, and I'll string together the rest. But you get such a massive like wins over replacement type advantage from those things. Like again, I would take Mark Andrews near like 301. I would take Kyle Pitts in like the middle of the second in tight end premium leagues, and even in like non-tight end premium, I'd still be very, very high on those guys. You just get such a massive like positional advantage, and then of course in tight end premium, like you're getting winning weeks from both of these guys. Now I get Kelsey being like a 4th rounder because he's so old and stuff, but like nobody's really even challenging Mark Andrews for like the tight end 1 throne outside of Pitts. It's a pretty big wasteland after that. Man, Kupp at 501 is pretty crazy too. I was looking at Devontae Adams and Kupp when I took Andrews, but I just couldn't do it. So let's see. I think Debo is pretty interesting. I actually pretty easily give me my guy Quentin Johnston for sure. Quentin Johnston, I ranked him recently 44th. So that would be like, I think 36. I don't know. Somewhere in the middle 4th. So I'll take him in the 5th all day long. Yeah, I agree. You're looking pretty rough at quarterback, though. I mean, like, I wouldn't hate going like Bijan Kyler. Like, if you go Bijan Kyler, but I think that he's sort of like Will Levis at 412 isn't a bad pick. I think Kupp at 5'1" is a sweet pick. Said Love's recent stuff definitely passes the film test. His value seems too high or too low. Yeah, I agree. It really depends on if you have a Jordan Love guy in your league. You said loved your input on the Overzet show. Thank you for checking it out, man. By the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, Ship Chasing, it was a murderer's row of guys. Like I've never been on Overzet's show before, and he was just like, yeah, let's just assemble like a murderer's row of guys that Ron has looked up to, or like, dude, all of those guys. Like Karain, I mentioned the legendary Upside article all the time. Gretsch was there. I'm literally subbed to all of his stuff. Stealing Signals is amazing. Blair Andrews is there. I've brought up The Wrong Read before, an article he does on RotoViz. Of course, JJ Zacharisen, Late Round Podcast. Literally one of the guys, I would say him and Nick Ercolano have been kind of the blueprint for what I do currently. So it was cool. It was 6 of us on a panel. So it was me, Blair Andrews, Gretsch, Overzet, Karain. Why am I blanking? Blair Andrews, Jay Zachariason, I don't know. But it was 6 of us. We did a rookie mock draft. It was really fun. Superflex tight end premium. We kind of just went around the table. Almost had like a meeting of the minds on the rookie class. So I highly suggest you check it out. Ship chasing is just, you just type it in. Should pop up. Titans are trying to transition to a more modern offense with their new GM. It wouldn't shock me. I think that's one of those rare things where I think, and I'm not trying to pick on whoever brought up, like, is JSN, if JSN goes to the Titans, is that a bad thing for Burks? I think with a lot of these things, like with A.J. Brown to the Eagles last year, like, I think we got to zoom out from on these run-heavy teams, right? So Cleveland Browns bringing in Elijah Moore. The Eagles bringing in A.J. Brown last year. If you're a really run-heavy team, as much as like competition isn't great for wide receivers, it's also like not the end of the world, right? We've seen guys come into crowded wide receiver rooms and do absolutely fine in the NFL. With Garrett Wilson coming into an Elijah Moore wide receiver room and being great. I'd worry less about competition on these run-heavy teams and value more like, oh, maybe we're going to get more pass attempts now, a scheme shift, like sort of bigger picture that way. Outside of the Falcons have drafted Drake London now in the top 10, Kyle Pitts in the top 10 now, and they are digging their heels in on what they got going on. I have T-Law, Jay Urbo in the 103. Do I go Stroud, Young, or JSN if I don't get a solid package? Probably would go one of the quarterbacks, unless if JSN's like startup ADP sort of like caught up to them. What else we got in here? All right. Now I got to make a pick after. I love when I just open up to the conversation with you guys and it's like, oh, I actually have to make a pick now. So we're in the 6th round, huh? Give me Charbonnet. I don't know. I don't like that pick at all, but it's just where I ended up, I guess. Let me see. There's no wide receiver available that really gets me all that excited in the 6th round. I'm going to have to make another pick here, too, huh? Honestly, I would have been open to DJ Moore there. I don't know why I passed on DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore would have been a good pick there, but I'm fine with that. I don't know. I just see a really big tier at wide receiver. Like, I see Treylon Burks is probably the right pick there, if I'm being honest. It's a good pick by Pete the Cat. Got sort of carried away rambling to you guys and lost track of who I had ranked up next. Burks is a good pick there. I like Charbonnet. Charbonnet doesn't grade out well at all with RS grades, but I just think that he's that type of guy that is going to gain a lot of value from year one, as long as he just doesn't suck. Like, as long as he just doesn't suck, he should be pretty much good to go. Big back, catches passes, 3-down skill set. Like, it's not very hard to see how he gets up there. Give me... Man, I would have liked Calvin Ridley. That would have been a very fun pick there. Let me go... All right, I'm going to go McLaurin. But that's the issue for me. I see DJ Moore. I think Burks is actually in a tier ahead, and again, I regret not taking him there. But like DJ Moore, Godwin, Ayuk, Ridley, McLaurin, like the reason I wasn't like pressed to take a wide receiver, like they're all in the same tier for me. Like I would put Marquise Brown in there too, Deontay Johnson I think as well. Could make the case for Hopkins if you want to. Debo at 605 is a really sweet price. What else we got in here? Yeah, and I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Like, if you just hit on the tight end 1 in fantasy and you get him for a discounted price in the offseason, your odds of winning your league become massive. Yeah, I agree. I think that was too far for Kupp. Yeah, I wouldn't take Christian Watson over him. I think that's probably the only gripe at wide receiver I have, though. I wouldn't take Devontae Adams over Kupp, but the rest I can make the case for. I think I'd probably take him over. I'm pretty aggressive with my Kupp ranking, to be honest, now that I look at it. I have him over Devontae, Metcalf, Higgins, Devonta Smith. I think that would be sort of controversial, I guess. About to make this trade. In Superflex, I get Devonta Smith, 109 Mariota. Give up Russ, Pickens, and Wandale. I'm not sure if that's a snap accept. Let me think through that real quick. 109 and Devonta Smith. So what's that? Like 109 is like Addison. So let's say like 109 and Pickens are about even to me. So you're trading Russ for Devonta Smith and Mariota. Or you're trading Russ and Wandale for Devonta Smith and Mariota. To be honest, I think it's a slight lean. I think I slightly lean towards the Devonta Smith side, but I don't think it's really a smash or anything like that. Also depends on how you're looking at quarterback. Like, I wouldn't want to give up Russ if I don't have like 2 quarterbacks ahead of him either. Honestly, I don't think that Hawk is gonna get there, man. Like, when you look at Hawkinson's point per game still is yet to get to a spot where it's difference making at all. Sorry, I keep checking my phone. My just trying to keep an eye on my ride coming here. I was impressed to see you with those guys. Great to see your growth. Yeah, thank you, man. Dude, honestly, I don't know. I don't, like, obviously, it's not a big deal. We're just talking fantasy football, but it was a really cool moment for me, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Arthur Smith's job is in trouble, dude, but he's good at, like, he's almost like Jeff Fisher in a way, where he's very good at making bad teams competitive. Just like, god damn, is his offense historic, or prehistoric, if you will. Jeez, dude. Where would JSN need to go to catch the QBs, or would they need to fall? He probably has to go like top 10 and not to the Bears. He'd probably have to go top 10 into a sexy spot. All right, so we're about to pick again. And of course, I don't have the slightest clue of what I want to do with this pick. Marquise Brown still around? Nope. Deontay Johnson's gone too, huh? You know what? You guys have left me no choice. Give me Rashad Bateman. Stack that boy up with Lamar. Now, I'm doing a little bit of a gamble here. I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking here in a second. This might backfire, but we'll see. But like, what? Let me see. Tankathon. Full order. So Carolina, Houston, Arizona, Colts, Seattle, Detroit. If he was drafted 6th overall by Detroit, I think that would get him to the quarterback conversation. Yeah, 10th by Philly is probably the other one, like you said. Brock. Everything about doing some NBA underdog. I like doing the playoff best ball contest right now. Yeah, I actually I run up some NBA stuff myself. I won a decent chunk of change last year. In the you guys also killed me, by the way. I 100% was staring down the barrel of Mixon, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook here, and I was like, you know what? There are 3 guys at the turn here. I'll just take a wide receiver and let you guys pick for me between those 4 running backs, and you took them all. So that is no bueno. Give me Hopkins. Why not? We're just gonna stack wide receivers on this team. It's a very classic 0 RB from me. Lamar to Andrew stack, Lamar to Rashad Bateman stack. I mean, this is a pretty sweet team. I'd be very happy with this. It does suck though. I would have liked one of these running backs, and I got absolutely cucked there. Yeah, more athletic Montgomery, I think, is a decent comp. I want to say that Charbonnet caught more passes in school than Montgomery, to be honest. And he's more explosive than Montgomery too. Like a comp I like for him is, man, I'm trying to remember what my my model brought up for him. I kind of like Cam Akers as a comp. You said you think the Commanders are in a great spot to get better with Brissett, Howell, and Bieniemy. I'd like to see them take a shot at a quarterback. I think Josh Oliver signing is good for Hawk, but people always seem to overrate Hawk. Yeah, that's the issue. Like I have, so in my RS grades like database for tight ends, you can't just take, like we don't care about top 12 finishes at tight end, right? So I just broke them up into like 12 plus points per game, 14 plus points per game, 17 plus points per game. And if we just look, let me zoom in real quick. Like if we just look at the guys who are at the top of the list of like 17 plus points per game and all that, like Hawkinson on his entire career so far, all he has to show for anything at this point is 2 12 plus point per game seasons. That's the issue for me. He has just 2 12 plus point per game seasons. Now, if we look at, I heard some people say he was going to like challenge Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews at this point has 4 12 plus point per game seasons, 1 14 plus point per game season, 1 17 plus point per game season. So until we see Hawkinson get to 14 plus points per game, not to mention 17 plus points per game, which is the true ceiling we want at tight end, I can't throw him in that same tier. The only guys that hit 17 plus points per game since 2007 have been Gronk, Kelsey, Jimmy Graham, Ertz, Jordan Reed, Mark Andrews, Waller, and that is it. So that's really the goal. 17 plus points per game, that is how you get like a league-winning tight end. And that's what I'll be chasing. And like I said, Kelsey and Andrews are there. I think Kyle Pitts has the upside. So that's why I think it's really important to buy those guys. Because literally since 2007, like only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys have hit 17 plus points per game. And like I said, Hawkinson has only hit just 12 plus twice. He hasn't even gotten to 14 plus. Desmond Ridder season, I like Desmond Ridder last offseason, but he was so bad in his starts, man. How will Henry and Chubb be next year? Got them both on the board, late 5th startup. I have a lot more faith in Chubb than Henry. I don't think that Chubb is nearly, at that same spot as Derrick Henry, where he is just getting super, super old or whatever, and he could just fall off a cliff. I think at this point, Chubb is what he is. Amazing pure rusher. Probably, I don't think that he's nearly as close to falling off as Derrick Henry, if that makes sense. Huh. No, give me Gabe Davis. I think Gabe Davis is kind of undervalued now. I think that he's still just going to be exactly what he's been, but now he's sort of cheap. Like, he's just going to be a spike game wide receiver on the Bills, which is a nice guy to have to just sort of throw in. I was definitely looking at Lockett, too. I agree that Montgomery is undervalued. Like, I might even have him as a soft buy. No, I don't. But I have him as my RB25, and I moved him up a good bit. All right, so we're back on the clock. So nothing sticks out to me at running back whatsoever. So I actually just want to go another wide receiver. Let's go. Oh. I don't even want Juju, but I don't know why I've been doing that more recently. Truly apologize. If I could go back, I would have liked that to be Kadarius Toney. Got caught up looking at my rankings with a 30-second clock. And of course, I'm talking to you guys between picks. What else we got in here? I love Ryan Matthews as a comp for Charbonnet, actually. Ryan Matthews is a great comp for him. And, like, not in a bad way at all. Like, healthy Ryan Matthews was really good. Not really good, but good. What else we got? I think the scary part, dude, Algier is a little bit scary to me right now. I don't think they just roll with Algier and Cordarrelle, to be honest. So, I mean, they could, dude. The Falcons are live to take Bijan. I think that's sort of the takeaway for me. What else we got in here? He has Montgomery like 60 overall in best ball, even though his ADP is at 100. This is Winks. Yeah, I'm not shocked at all. I have him decently high for Dynasty purposes. I have him 110th. Where did he go here? 1004? So that's like about where I have him, actually. I think that might be literally, because 10 times 12 is 120, minus 8 is like 112. Yeah, so that's exactly where I have Montgomery. I'll take Javonte over Chubb, but it's honestly very close. I'm starting to waver on Javonte, man. I don't think that he was like a perfect prospect by any means. The ACL thing's pretty brutal. He could very easily just become J.K. Dobbins, which is really tough for him. Arthur Smith is safe. ATL rise up. Hot Atlanta. Bro, who's next up out of Atlanta, bro? That's the issue. That's the issue with Atlanta is like I said, it's very Jeff Fisher like. Like Arthur Smith isn't bad enough to get fired, but he's not good enough to like make anything happen there, you know? It is pretty wild with Ballard. I loved Ballard early on with the Colts, and I thought that he was like a very sharp GM. I have a hard time now. Like, I don't think the like, prolonging your like purgatory of like, Matt Ryan, that whole thing he did where he took like Matt Ryan and he like went through Carson Wentz and just like punted quarterback. I don't think that's a very strong way to go about things, I guess. Give me James Conner here. Give me James Conner. We'll get somebody that can just score points for us out the gate. But the Paris Campbell pick was he took Paris Campbell over DK Metcalf. That was not a good pick. I don't know. I think he made some good moves early on that like put him in this air of like, one of the best GMs in the league. I'm trying to remember what those moves were early on. But the Darius Leonard pick was great. The Quentin Nelson pick was great, obviously. I don't know that he was there for Andrew Luck. Getting Stephon Gilmore was a pretty good move. You're saying the AFC South and NFC South are playing against each other. Okay. All right, so here's the draft board. Let me get myself out of the way. Javonte will be a bye 4 weeks in. That's probably fair. I think that he will be a fair. Dude, he's or a bye. He's probably going to be, like right now he's valued around like RB like 10 to 15. There's a chance a few weeks into the season that he's like RB 20-ish. Great to see your channel grow. Thank you, Kyle. Crazy to be on ship chasing. You should use the bulletproof ADP tool during drafts. That's actually a good point. I do look at the ADP while I'm doing my rankings. Ballard isn't dumb. Let me say that. He's just so stubborn and overconfident. It'll be his undoing. Yeah, it's just like when he first started out, it was like I just remember him being one of the, regarded as one of the best GMs, and I believed it. I'm trying to think of what else he's done. I don't think... Was Rocky Sin a good pick? I'm trying to think. Didn't you guys draft a... maybe Rodunes is his name? Out of like North Dakota State or South Dakota State? No. It was Raymond out of Minnesota at tackle. I heard that like he sucked early on, but I feel like he turned it around towards the end, so that's interesting. You're right. He won it in 2018. I can't remember what the hell. Was Andrew Luck around in 2018? Did Ballard draft Andrew Luck? I'm going to say, like, how long has Ballard been with the Colts? What else we got in here? I'm just waiting for my ride right now. So I got some time to kill. What do you think of Tillman? I actually love, dude, Cedric Tillman, I'm actually a very big fan of. I like him more than my model. He's one of those guys that he almost feels Chase Claypool in a way, where his numbers aren't good, but he's like an athlete. He's almost like if DK Metcalf wasn't an early declare, where he was like hurt a bunch at Tennessee, but when he was healthy, he was a stud. He produced in the SEC. I think he gave Jalen Hyatt problems when they were both healthy. Lance Zierlein did a mock today, and Cedric Tillman was in the first round. He was the last pick, but if Cedric Tillman goes first round, I'll be very, very interested. Especially if he gets treated as like a Kadarius Toney or Brandon Ayuk type, The price on Lamar is dropping. Yeah, dude, Lamar's way too cheap. I think he drafts well at like non-leverage positions, which is weird. Like I don't think he doesn't draft well at wide receiver. I guess you could say Pittman was a good pick. I guess you could. What else we got in here? Thoughts on Tyler Scott? He's interesting. Like I know that that's sort of a cookie cutter answer, but he's like interesting. I have him in this condensed tier, like him and Rashee Rice. Like I don't really like either, but I guess Tyler Scott like tested okay. He tested okay. Tyler Scott. I think he's actually a 21-year-old early declare, which is interesting. So yeah, I don't know. If he goes second round, I'll probably bump him up, but if he goes third round, I probably won't be all that interested. Excited to dig into your updated Dynasty rankings, Ron. Love to see it, man. Any massive movers? The issue is I put a little note. The movers are tough in this update because I added so many rookies, right? So if you add, I don't know, you add like 15 rookies, it kind of moves everybody down, So the sort of change from last time to this time is a tough read, Like it's like Breece Hall got a -1 in change because I bumped Bijan ahead of him. Let me see if anything sticks out. Swift got a -6. He went from RB11 to RB17. And that's just because, the NFL doesn't see, or the Lions don't see him as a featured back. It's really ugly. I'm probably going to make a video. I think tomorrow I'm going to come out with a rookie mock draft. By the way, fellas, now that the Dynasty rankings are completely done and out of the way, we're going to be back on our content grind. Tomorrow you should have a rookie draft in your inbox. After that, some Dynasty trade targets. We're going to be throwing our fastball this week is what I'll say. Dude, the thing is, I was about to defend the Mariota pick, but 100% you're talking about Mariota to the Falcons, which was like sort of weird. Conzar, doesn't care enough about positional value. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that worked with Quentin Nelson. What was the deal with Quentin Nelson last year? How come he wasn't good? I thought this was supposed to be like all pro, like, I mean, I think that he could probably bounce back, but it is weird. I would love this, though. I would love it. If we got Tannehill on Atlanta, I think that would actually be pretty fun with Arthur Smith, but I don't know. Maybe the Titans trade up and take a quarterback? I'm not sure yet. I got to do an NFL mock draft soon. You got a random... This is Lamar. You traded away Lamar for 224s, a 108, Chig, Kirk, Ford, Jackson, Bellinger, and 24 second. I guess that's not terrible. I wouldn't love it, though. Bijan to the Cowboys would hurt Pollard a ton. But it would be pretty fun, dude. If they just leaned into the run game and let both of them have, like 1,000+ yards in scrimmage, I think that'd be really fun. Not for fantasy, more so, I guess, like just pure football. Like, it'd kind of remind me, who are some of like the greatest all-time like running back duos? Like you could say like Eckler, or you could say LT Sproles. You could say, or no, that's probably not the case. But like, didn't Priest Holmes and like Christian Okoye play at the same time, or maybe like Jamal Charles and I don't know. You gotta remember how young I am. I don't know where these overlaps happened. D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart was very fun. I guess like Gordon and Eckler for that very brief time. Kamara and Ingram for that very brief time. Was Michael Turner good when he was with LT in San Diego? I'm trying to remember some of my like favorite running back duos. This one wasn't that great, but I did like Josh Jacobs, or not Josh Jacobs, Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw, as much as I don't really like the Giants. Thoughts on David Montgomery? Where is he at pick value-wise? So this is where I have David Montgomery. Let me see where I have him slotted between right now. I did move up David Montgomery a fair bit. I have him ranked between my 203 and 202, so he's somewhere valued in that area, which I think is fine. Like early second for David Montgomery feels right. I know you said 110. He's not that far away from 110, though. JT and Naeem Hines, come on, dude. Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson. Yeah, I'm an idiot. That's exactly what that is, or what I was thinking of. D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart was so fun. Trying to think, I'm forgetting one. Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman, of course. I feel like Fred Taylor had one in Jacksonville for a little bit, but that's going to finally do it for us today, fellas. I appreciate everybody that came out here to the live stream. This is the Dynasty Startup Mock Draft draft board. The whole reason I gathered you all here to do this is because, as you can see by the little ticker down there, the Patreon, the Dynasty rankings are completely updated. My top 300 Dynasty rankings, I went really hard this time. Trying to just make, I know it's startup draft season right now, so I wanted to make a set of rankings where, of course, we're looking at ADP and we're not drafting directly off rankings, but one where I would feel comfortable bringing it into a startup as a tool to sort of guide me through things. I have all of the rookies highlighted. You can see the rookies among each position group, so you can see, where does Ron have JSN versus, like Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams, and where do the wide receivers and the quarterbacks fall? That is all there. I have buy, sell, hold designations for every single one of these players, because if you want to use the buy and sell recommendations, you have the RS grades. We're going to update that very soon. So you get the prospect model. You get all of that. I offer almost too much on the Patreon. So that's patreon.com/Ron Stewart. It'll be down below in the description, the comments, the live chat, all of that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.